So, you suck at 3D modeling bodies.
What did he say?
Well, I bring good news. There's a cure. Well, kind of. This is where AI comes in. There's a few steps to take, but firstly, we need some references. A completely free website that you could use to make these references is called Perchance. Here you can type in your prompt and it will give you an image based on what you type in. So what we're aiming for is just a body mesh. So you can type in, like, for example, I don't know, T-pose girl, and it will generate you this image. If you're aiming just to make a body, then I recommend making a naked body, because the second tool I'm about to show you, it can get pretty wonky with the re-topology process if you have a lot of clothes or long hair that's everywhere, or especially big armor. Don't get me wrong, they certainly could have their use cases. For example, you can still use the hair as a reference point or armor as a silhouette for your own model, but we're just aiming to make a base body mesh. Now, this doesn't only apply to humans only, but if you want a goblin, elf, some sort of humanoid looking creature, then this method is pretty good also. This is my prompt, which gives me something that I'm looking for. You can change the shape to portrait mode, and you can change how many you want. So let's go into anime style and let's hit generate. Let's see what happens. Okay, and so we have our images now. Well, you can also find these ones in Google Images or something like this. Let's say I like this one. We can save this one and we can then use it in our next step. Now, if you don't like any of these, you can hit regenerate, or you can change the prompt, add in more like A pose, T pose, arm is out, stuff like this, to get like a more of a gap so it's not like squished together there. After you've made your image and you have a body type that looks pretty good for you, we can move on to the next tool. Hyper3D.ai is a image to mesh generator tool. You can see some people have made a few different ones, but you can also make like full body meshes like these. Now we can insert our image into this slot here and it will make an initial mesh. Once you add it here, it's gonna come up in this little window and we're gonna hit generate. Okay, so this is going to be the screen that you see when you've generated your image. And you can see this is the model. It'll be exactly the pose and everything that's provided in the image. And here you can see you have a few different viewport options. These are pretty good to see the overall like shape of the mesh, and you can see all the shadows and stuff. Next, you have these options here. What I like to do is I like to hit T/A pose and make it symmetric. After that, you can select here to redo it, and it's gonna make it into a T pose with this as the main reference. Now you can see we have a pose character, and we can see the different views. Okay, it looks pretty good. And here you have a few different options as well. I like to hit quad remesh, and you can't change anything else because you would need a subscription for it. After that, hit confirm. And now you can see this is the actual 3D mesh. So this is what we'll use for our re-topology process. Here now it's asking for the material generation. You have these two sliders. You have a PBR texture and a reference strength. So you can play around with this. It'll give you some different options. For example, let's just keep it at the default and let's see what it does here. You can see the face is, yeah. But anyway, you have two free redos. So let's say we go, I don't know, less PBR and full on the reference. Oh, I think I hit confirm by accident. Anyway, here we have a few options as well. We have FBX, GLB, all of these options. Let's just hit OBJ, shaded, PBR, and 2K. We're gonna import this into Blender now. As you can see, it uses half a credit and you get 5 free credits to generate, so you get about 10 free models essentially. Now we have the reference. It is time now for re-topology. Yeah, I know it sucks, but it has to be done. To help with the re-topology process, we're going to be using a few different tools. One is going to be called B-surfaces. So if you go into your preferences, which is found under Edit, Add-ons, and then search BS, you can see B-surfaces, and if you don't have this enabled, just enable it. After that, let's type in F2. You're going to want to enable this. And lastly, type in loop to get the loop tools and enable that. So that's the initial setup, and let's import our model. But first, let's delete the cube. After importing, we can see we have our model here. And right now it doesn't have any textures. So if you want to use the textures also, you can go into shading. Let's make a new material. Let's hit this and let's set up the materials. Before we set up the textures, you're gonna want to go into Edit, Preferences, and then type in Node Wrangler. So you can see I have Node Wrangler enabled. You can close this. Next, you want to select the principled BSDF, hit Ctrl-Shift-T, and then just navigate where you have your model extracted. So go into PBR, hit this, and select all of these. And then you just click this, and you can see we instantly have it set up. Here you can see the geometry is not very good, because you can see there's this line going here and then splitting. So this is where the re-topology process comes in. Here I have imported 2 more models to show you why you might want to generate a character that has no hair and is naked. Because if you generate one that is, let's say, has clothes or armor, when you go into the mesh, you'll see that it's not very nice. I mean, sure, you could try like clean it up or something, but this would take more work than you just generated a completely basic one with nothing on. And because we're just aiming for the body, if you have like a bikini or some kind of clothes on, you'll see these kind of like artifacts popping out, which in our case, if we're using B surface, it's going to stick to that and it's gonna deform the actual mesh that we're retopologizing. Today, I'll just do a retopology of this body. So let's head into this view. Let's actually hide these. And let's delete these ones. Hands also, you know, you can retopologize them, but for this video, since we're just doing a base body mesh, so I will just delete these ones then. This is the mesh we'll be retopologizing. How do we actually start this process? You're gonna want to select the mesh, click N to bring up the toolbars. We're gonna want to find B surfaces. Here we're gonna click Initialize B surface mesh, and this is automatically gonna put you into the annotate mode. For this, you can hold D, and you can use your left click to draw onto the mesh. After that, you can hit Add Surface, and you can see it's gonna start doing it for you. Here you can also change a few things. You can click in front, and here at the bottom you can click on this option. If you want to make, let's say, like a circle, you can hit cyclic cross. It's going to essentially make a circle for you, but since we're not using that, then it's okay. After we hit the add modifiers, you can see we have shrink wrap, mirror, subdivision, and solidify. We don't want the solidify or the subdivision, we just want the mirror and shrink wrap on. Hit on the mirror and then object. You can see it's going to mirror on the other side as well. Then we're going to want to go into solid mode, and you can see it's appearing right on top of this. And you can basically start doing your retopology process like this. So yeah, let's drag these ones out here. Initially, you might want to keep it a very low count. Let's do like this. Let's add 3 here. One thing also, you can change the amount of vertices you get. Across 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and so on. For now, we'll just keep it like this. Sometimes the setting disappears in front, just keep that on. Another thing you can do is if you want to draw from this one, you can select these 2 faces and then hold D and draw. Add surface, you can see it automatically connects to that edge. One thing you can also do is you can just normally extrude and go around. Sometimes other mesh might get in the way, like this hand. So if you extrude and you bring it in front, you can see this will now jump onto this surface. Make sure you have a constant view of where you're going. I'll now show you one more kind of useful tool. Here at the bottom we have loop tools. So you can select these like vertices, you can hit relax. Sometimes it's kind of funky. One thing you can also do is you can change auto merge, and you can define what kind of distance you want the vertices to merge. So if I have, like, let's say this one here, if I move it close enough, it's going to automatically merge. So if I set that to 0, for example, and I have a vertex here, it's not going to merge until it gets within that distance. I usually keep it somewhere very low. And yeah, you can mess around with some of these, like flatten. So I'll just make them flat. This is a good way to start doing your retopology if you've never done it before, or you can download some kind of, some kind of sculpts, and you can just use these tools to start retopologizing it. To end the video, enjoy this time lapse of the retopology process for this body. So you can see this is our final mesh now. It's much more tidy, it has less polygons, whereas this one had a lot. You can see if you zoom out, it's like black. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope you learned something new. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Peace.